Hello my soccer universe. After a round with 4 draws and only 2 wins, it is tempting to say that almost nothing happened. However, I think in almost every game something did happen and we saw a few interesting trends. We for instance saw that Salzburg still is not really their own confident self, where they almost lost to Klagenfurt, a team that just a few years ago they would have beaten easily. Also, the Austria Vienna got a very credible draw at Sturm Graz, probably the best game of the round. That was really the top of what the Austrian Bundesliga can show. We also saw Rapid missing a huge chance to get themselves back into a title race. If they would have won at home and they win the derby next time around, they actually might finish at least top 2, which is something that seemed realistic from the beginning of the season. However, this way it might be the top 3 is even a challenge. And then most crucially, LASK, huge points dropped at home. I think the draw was probably the fair result overall for what I saw, but while you maintain the 3-point difference to the city rival who is in the top 6, the more crucial part is of course that you now lost the head-to-head and now you need to hope to either make 4 points more than the city rival or to end up in a tie with Blau-Weiss, Linz, Hartberg and yourself, and then even there it might not go your way. So also not good news. So with all that, let's review the round game by game. The Austria Bundesliga came back with a top duel between Sturm Graz and Austria Vienna, which we just had in the cup as well, where Austria Vienna actually beat Sturm Graz for the first time I think in 12 years. We have a different winner of the cup than Salzburg or Sturm Graz, so that's also quite exciting. I didn't mention it last week. This game had a little bit of a different feel to it, mostly because Sturm Graz wanted to avoid being caught out on a counter-attack, and this time it was Sturm Graz who took twice the lead. Open 15 minutes were not so much, but then Sturm Graz really ratcheted up the pressure, and after a Böwing shot, they got parried. Jata can slot it home into the empty net. However, that got Austria Vienna going, and they actually had a shot on the outside of the post. Then a really nice Fitz cross finds Prelec, who heads it in the 37th minute, and late on they even hit the crossbar, so it could have turned in Austria Vienna's way. Second half though, Sturm Graz again having the upper hand early on. They get the lead through wide range shot from Böwing that was kind of a little bit hidden for the goalie, but still didn't look good because yes, it's turns, but I thought he should have had it. And then Böwing actually had a pretty good chance to make it 3 as well, but he didn't, and that led Austria Vienna back into the game. Malone is brought down by Garhofer in the box. Initially was no penalty given, but if you look at it, how many hands were on him, I guess the penalty was the right call. Fitz very easily converts that one, and it is 2-2 in the 74th minute. And both teams have chances to win it, but in the end it ends with a 2-2 draw. Something that doesn't really change anything. The head-to-head remains dead even. Sturm Graz have a 3-point cushion over Austria Vienna, so maybe slight advantage there. However, Austria Vienna now have the confidence that they can hang with Sturm Graz, and that's a big one. Then we had the reverse. Last against second last, Altach against GAK, and that was a game that Altach was completely dominating first half. True, there was a great free kick by GAK that just hit the upside of the crossbar. Very weird trajectory that the ball took, but it lands on top of the crossbar, but then it's Altach before the half who once hit the bar and also the post from a very acute angle. And it was a game where you really thought, why is there no goal yet? Altach really dominating that one. However, Altach fall thanks to a goalie mistake when Stojanovic tries to intercept a pass to Lichtenberger far out. He goes past it, Lichtenberger plays to Maderna into the empty net. And then Altach try pushing it again, get caught out. Satin to Italiano, who scores his first Bundesliga goal in the 75th minute, 2-0 GAK. An absolute stunner. Add insult to injury, Gorgon wants to play a pass. He had come on, he's a returning to the Bundesliga, wants to play a pass, but doing so he actually steps on an Altach defender. They sent off with a straight red card. Still Altach a minute later cut GAK's lead into half. However, they cannot find an equalizer. Really tough loss for Altach. WSG get a shock 3-1 win at Rapid, and that after not showing almost anything for, I would even argue, about 70 minutes. Rapid were the better, not that they were that much better, but they were overall the more proactive, especially in the first half where they fully deserve it. Won the lead through Louis Schaub at the Bellew assist. Probably should have doubled that one as well. Second half a little bit more tentative. Rapid probably trying to get the win over the line without exerting themselves too much. And then they get totally caught out. I mean, Zukic already missed a big one for Wolfsberg. Then Pink, after Zukic assist, gets the equalizer in the 73rd minute. And Rapid then try to push for the winner because honestly, they would have deserved to win this game. But Tiano Ballo 2-1, and then Pink himself in overtime after a throw in by Rapid where he just presses the guy who receives the ball, takes it off him, and 9 minutes it's 3-1. Huge win for Didi Kübauer, former Rapid legend, and it shows again that a Kübauer team always performs well in the Austrian Bundesliga. While LASK let him go, still a little bit of an enigma to me. The big story of Austria Klagenfurt taking on Salzburg was that Martin Hinteregger gave his professional return to the Austrian Bundesliga after he resigned from Eintracht Frankfurt just 2 years ago and playing only amateur football. And he solidified the Klagenfurt defense quite some. Klagenfurt had a little bit more of the first half, the better chance. There was almost nothing from Salzburg. Yes, second half, there were 2 half chances by Salzburg, but overall, it's a 0-0 draw, and it's had 0-0 written over it all the time. Similar story in Innsbruck, where Tirol kept it tight against a Hartberg team who just lacks creativity like they had in the cup game. They just had a really hard time breaking down WSG Tirol, who actually had overall the better chance. The second half a little bit better. There should have been probably a penalty after seemingly a great parade by the Tirol goalie. However, it was then a foul on Mijic that was not given as a penalty. Still, the best chance of the game, despite Hartberg pressing, came actually for Tirol, but it also ends in a 0-0 draw. And then we have to talk about another goalless draw between LASK and Blau-Weiss Linz in the much anticipated Linz derby. Full house in the LASK stadium, great atmosphere overall. However, the game largely did not live up to it. I mean, from the get-go it was clear that Blau-Weiss Linz will try to sit deep, stay compact and get some opportunities in transition, whereas LASK will probably have to make the game unlike they did against Salzburg and be careful to not be caught on the counter. And the one positive thing about LASK I can say, although it always seemed a little bit shaky, the defense held tight. It was goalless. Blau-Weiss didn't have that many chances, although LASK also didn't have. I mean, the biggest one came through Lung midway through the first half, where there was this one great chance, and Lung just came from Rapid. So this would have been a great opener for LASK. But I have to say, while LASK, I thought, controlled the first 15-20 minutes, the longer the first half went on, I always thought that Blau-Weiss is actually a little bit more dangerous. Had a chance through Ronny Waldo. They actually had a goal as well. Fortunately, it was an offside. But I felt that the draw at the half was slightly lucky. Second half, actually a whole lot of nothing first 10 minutes. More of LASK holding back and Blau-Weiss Linz not easy to break down. And then they bring on Schul, they bring on Berisha. And even with Schul and Berisha, not much happened. You could see that while solid on the back and the game was mostly played in midfield, when it goes forward, there's a whole lot of running. I mean, I loved what Sasha Horvath was doing, especially in the first half. There were many runs, but whenever he got close to the box, didn't know what to do with the friggin' ball. It then started to turn a little bit towards LASK the more the game went on, and the deeper bench is there, whereas Blau-Weiss took the most dangerous players off. I mean, when Goiginger came off in the 66th minute, I already thought, ooh, Blau-Weiss Linz is really now going more on the defensive with Alexander Schmidt, also former LASK player. I'm not really afraid of him. And then a little bit later, he takes even off Ronny Waldo, who is the biggest goal threat. He's the leading goal scorer in the Austrian Bundesliga. But before that, we already had the big scene of the day, where after a situation in the box, Pirkli steps on the foot ankle of Schul, rather ugly. I mean, it was not on purpose. He was given a yellow card at first and then it's converted into a red card. So you have around 20 minutes a man more, and then you have to play it a little bit more patient. Yes, he threw on more offensive players with Adeniran coming on, who just scored the winning goal against Salzburg. Ocharde came on for Horvath, so there was a little bit more push forward. But whatever came, there was a header by Ziereis that did not cross the line, and then Entrup cannot get the ball onto the net. Yes, it was a difficult angle, and then a shot by Schul was blocked also by Moorman. And those were the chances. I have to say, Blau-Weiss, unlike the first derby when they just got promoted, met LASK here on even footing. And while maybe the statistics are a little bit more for LASK, I really thought that Blau-Weiss played rather well in this one and deserved a draw. I want to add a little bit more on the LASK game. I mean, first off, I have to say the tifo by the LASK fans was really great. They were celebrating 10 years of the major fan club. They are the Landstraßler, and they had great choreographies. First, some guy taking pictures because of the glorious scenes that were happening in those past 10 years. Then they made a nice full-on tifo celebrating themselves at the great moments, and then another one. It actually took the first 5 minutes of the game, and they didn't see much, didn't miss much either. So that was a positive stuff. I have to say one negative is that, yes, Thomas Goigner is now playing from Blau-Weiss Linz. We got him from Blau-Weiss Linz when we got promoted in 2017. And from 2017 to 2023, he was one of my favorite players for LASK. And he played his heart out for the team. For me, he will be a legend. Yes, sometimes a little bit frustrating, but for me, he will always be a LASK legend. But he got whistled and booed whenever he tried to take a corner kick. And I don't understand it. He did not go directly from LASK to Blau-Weiss Linz. Yes, there was only half a year in between. But this is a player that gave it his all. That's some of the best moments that we had. And he came from Blau-Weiss Linz before. Isn't it enough that it is a clear sign that he went from Blau-Weiss Linz to LASK, where he had the best part of his career, back to Blau-Weiss Linz to kind of finish his career? Doesn't this tell it all? Can't we just let him be? Do we need to yell at him? I don't like this one bit. Yes, we don't need to like the opponents, but give me a break. This is a player that really played his heart out for LASK. I just want to leave this here because it frustrates me that just because he's now wearing a different shirt, should not be. But overall, the game was not a good game. And I knew this will be a difficult game because, unlike against Salzburg, you need to control the game. And while offensively we may have the creativity, I think the lineup, the starting lineup, was not to my liking at all. I would actually like Berisha. I know he has not that many fans, but I always felt when you have Berisha, there is something more happening. And yes, the last free kick of the game was an absolute mess that Berisha made out of it. But I always feel there's more energy when Berisha is on the field. So yeah, I think the lineup was not quite the right one. I think you can have a different midfield. Yes, Sasha Horvath and even Ljubic played well. I didn't necessarily like Koulibaly. He just arrived and I feel he's not quite yet suited for it all. I also felt that, Entrop was a little bit lost up front. I think playing another striker, being a little bit more tangible up front would really help. But those were my things. Honestly, I think at this moment you need to really bank everything on that cup. And, in the championship, I think you're now looking at the bottom six, maybe win that one to make it back into Europe. But, if you would win the cup, you go straight into Europa League qualifying, which is the equivalent of finishing in third place. That's your best shot now. So I already said it in the opener. On the face of it, not much has changed, but there were quite some movements. I mean, Austria Vienna really can keep up with Sturm Graz. Sturm Graz still very much not a favorite to defend their title. However, Wolfsberg move into third place ahead of Rapid, which means they get a very good chance of now qualifying for the playoff as well. I would say the top 5 are more or less through. It's really about the 6th spot, and Blau-Weiss Linz are in a really good position right now. On the bottom, Altach now 5 points behind GRK. Points will be halved, so that will keep them in place. However, this is a huge boost for GRK, who have won now 2 away games in a row as well, which is something that you didn't think will happen earlier on. Tirol, Klagenfurt will not do much, but they are staying safe. As a LASK fan, I really don't like the fixtures of the upcoming round, and Blau-Weiss get basically a gifted 3 points with a home game against Altach, although this will be a much different game for them than against LASK, because this time they will need to go forward and make the point, so maybe there is some hope there. Wolfsberg against Sturm Graz, I think that's a pretty big duel. Salzburg might finally get points against Tirol, we don't see. LASK have to go to GRK. This is one of the most traditional duels in the Austrian Bundesliga, but I also have to say that this will be another tough ask for LASK to go there. I mean, GRK used to be an open team. I'm not sure what to make of them. With their lucky win at Altach, you would expect they should get a win, but yeah, will not be an easy one. Hartberg have to face Klagenfurt also. I'm hoping for points dropped for Hartberg there, but we have to see. But the big one, of course, the Vienna Derby, Austria against Rapid. Austria at home, if they beat Rapid, this may more or less knocks Rapid out of the title race, even if points are halved, and Austria Vienna keep themselves very much in it. Before we close, we also had the semi-final for the cup drawn, and wouldn't you know it, LASK have a home game against Wolfsberg. I actually wanted to have Austria Vienna, but yeah, Austria Vienna play Hartberg at home. I am somewhat optimistic about the whole thing. However, if LASK should make it to the final, I'm not sure if we will beat Austria Vienna in a final, but yeah, let's see. In any case, this was it, with a much less positive outlook than I had last week for this new season. I mean, at least LASK were a little bit more stable, so that's at least something. In any case, please let me know your thoughts on the round in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I'll talk to you soon about more things in my soccer universe. Bye! Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are some videos and playlists that you may enjoy too. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever something happens in my soccer universe. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye!